Democrats today is the same message we've been saying since September 19th. Stop the political games, pass our clean CR, and reopen the government today. With that, I turn it over to our conference chair, Lisa McClain.
Well, good morning, everybody. Thank you for being here. And like my leadership team behind me said, it is a glorious day. Think of what happened yesterday. Just imagine for one moment you are a family member of one of the 20 hostages that were released. I mean, think of how that had to make you feel. We all watched it on TV, right? Joy, exuberation. I mean, there were tears of joy. There was relief. There was peace. And that was done because of our president, Donald Trump, put politics aside and said, I am going to stand up for the people. And he brought peace in the Middle East. He talked about it, yes, but yesterday he did it, and actions speak louder than words. He said enough of the political games, and I'm actually going to do what's right. Now compare and contrast that to what's going on today. Chuck Schumer and the Democrats are putting politics over people. So instead of it being a joyous day that we celebrate, here we are in another government shutdown, 14 days in the making. And why? Just ask yourself why. It's clean, no gimmicks. It's absolutely clean. The speaker, the leader, the whip, we all said no gimmicks. Let's not use the American people as a pawn. Let's do what's right. Let's do something different and actually fund the government in the right way. What a concept. And Democrats, my goodness gracious, they absolutely do not want that to happen. Like the speaker said, Chuck Schumer wants all four leaders to get behind the scenes and make a deal. We're not going to do that. That's not how government is supposed to work. And I know I sound like a broken record, but the way to end this shutdown is really, really simple. Pass the bipartisan clean funding bill that the House approved weeks ago. The Republicans voted to keep the government open. Call your Democratic senators. They're voting to keep it shut, not us. So when you ask what negotiation, there's nothing to negotiate. We already passed. We said yes, right? Democrats won't do it. They'd rather please their radical base than put America first. Listen, I'm grateful to President Trump for finding a way to keep milk flowing to moms and babies through the WIC and paychecks going to our troops. Yes, I'm happy, but that's not going to last forever. Right? So there again, he's even putting people over politics. I mean, come on. But let's be clear. These emergency measures can't fully fix the Democrats' damage. He can try, but at some point in time, they're going to end. Sadly, as Americans suffer, Democrats, what do? They celebrate. As workers worry about their paycheck, Bernie Sanders worries about his leverage. As TSA agents and air traffic controllers show up without pay, Democrats brag they won't budge until planes fall out of the sky. Really? Really? Seriously, that's the Democrats' motto. I'm not budging till planes fall out of the sky. I'm going to teach you women, you women and children and everybody a lesson. Really? Really? As Chuck Schumer says, it's getting better every day. For who, Chuck? Better for who? For the radicals cheering on the chaos? That's who. The radicals. The leaders openly admit it. Listen, the head of the insane indivisible literally said, and I quote, millions will be out cheering you on, or they'll be calling for new leadership. Really? I thought they were supposed to lead for the American people. Democrats, I ask you to stop listening to people who are cheering on this mayhem. Just stop all the political games and pass the House bill. Free the American people from being held hostage by your radical base.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Yeah, Manu, go ahead.
You've been doing this every single day, coming up here trying to pressure Senate Democrats. They've been not budging. They've blocked this bill time and time again. So at what point, for the good of the country, do you need to change your strategy to try to negotiate a deal with Democrats?
It's a great question. Manu asks, why don't I change my strategy? I don't have any strategy, Manu. I'm doing the right thing, the clearly obvious thing, the traditional thing. That's exactly what Chuck Schumer voted for in March of this year and gave impassioned speeches was the right and only thing. I don't have anything to negotiate. I'll say this again to everyone here. We did not load up the temporary funding bill with any Republican priorities or partisan priorities at all. I don't have anything that I can take off of that document to make it more palatable for them. So all I am able to do is come to this microphone every day, look right into the camera and plead with the American people, as Chairwoman McClain said, to call your Senate Democrats and ask them to do the right thing. We're not playing games. They're playing a game. We're not. The strategy is to do the right and obvious thing and keep the government moving for the people.
Well, why not move closer to their position?
Their position is this, Manu. Their position is they want to spend $1.5 trillion in your tax dollars to fund nonsense overseas. They want to give $200 billion to illegal aliens. We are not going to do that. We're not going to do it. The American people don't want us to do it. And they're using this for partisan political purposes to give themselves cover. They don't want the Marxists to kick. Chuck Schumer doesn't want to get a Marxist candidate challenge, AOC or someone else. Mamdani is probably going to be sadly, shockingly, the mayor of New York City. Marxism is on the rise. Hey, this is not your father's Democratic Party, everybody, okay? They're turning into communists, openly. And so Chuck Schumer does not fashion himself as a communist just yet. So he's got to show a fight to these people. That's what this is about. I'm not playing his game, Manu. I cannot go in and say, oh, gee, Chuck, what can I offer you? You know what? Maybe we'll just send $10 billion overseas to LGBTQ plus, initiatives in, the Horn of Africa or Malaysia or wherever you want to do that. No. We're not wasting taxpayers' dollars. Chad.
Mr. Speaker, good morning. Thank you. You said last week that you would swear in Adelita Grijalva whenever she wants. She's written a letter to your office. You've not sworn her in. I understand about pro forma sessions.
Yes.
Doesn't your resistance to not swear her in add fuel to the fire that this is about the Epstein files?
No. Let's talk about Grijalva and Epstein. Okay. Once more for everybody. Everybody in Congress, I think, is for maximum transparency of the Epstein files. That is underway right now. Let me point out before I go further, all of the files were in the possession of the Biden-Harris Department of Justice for 4 years. Every single thing that we're talking about right now was in their sole possession. They could have released it. They could have done anything. Ro Khanna, all the Democrats who are jumping up and down making noise about this, didn't say a peep about it for 4 years. I don't know why, but this is another partisan manufactured thing. Is it a serious problem? Yes. I've sat with the victims. Some of the ladies who bravely have come forward and talked about the horrors that they sustained because of traffickers on Epstein Island and all the things he was involved in. Everybody involved in that should have the full weight of justice descend upon their head. And we're all for that. We want every single person who had anything to do with that to be exposed. But there's as many as 1,000 victims estimated. That's what the victims say. There may be 1,000 women who were made to suffer these unspeakable harms because of this. Many of them were underage at the time. They have not all chosen to come forward like some of these other brave women have for obvious reasons. And we have to make sure that when the files are released, their names are redacted so they don't suffer further harm. We have a duty and a responsibility. You can't just wave a wand and just, open the floodgates. You have to make sure that the victims don't suffer additional harms. That's all we've said. Let's make sure it's done the right way. The Grijalva, that's underway, by the way. The House Oversight Committee asked the Democrats and Republicans on that committee who are working on that vigorously. As I said, some of the biggest, bulldogs in Congress are on that committee, and they're all joined together in a bipartisan fashion, digging through and releasing documents. 34,000 documents so far, and more on the way. In fact, as I noted,